Welcome back, Bulldog fans. I'm Heath Conaway alongside Paul Davidson and head coach Aaron Bidewell here to bring you this episode of Bulldog Blitz. This week we will talk about district championship. We're going to head down to Hayti. Mr. Davidson, go ahead and run us a recap of last week of our win against Charleston.
The district semifinals. It was a game for the ages. We started off with a very bizarre circumstances. The game overall was fairly bizarre to begin with. Evan Windsor has a punt that sets up a safety off of a penalty. We have the rare penalty safety to go up 2-0. Then when we get the ball back again, Parker Babb, who we were going to have on the show here later, runs a 31-yard touchdown to make it an 8-0 game. And then we have a kickoff return for a touchdown that's called back. Our other guest tonight, Hickenbottom, was the person that had that kickoff return called back. But then we just gave it to Parker, and he ran it in for a deja vu 33-yard touchdown to make it a 14-0 game. Eli Wheeler came in clutch. He had a fumble recovery at the most opportune time because it got us a first down. And on top of that, if we lost the ball there, that would have Charleston was really starting to pick up momentum at that point.
And they were.
And if we got a turnover right then, it could have went the wrong way. But Eli Wheeler fell on the fumble, and that's a 20-yard touchdown run by Parker Babb to make it a 20-0 game. Charleston then scores right before halftime to make it a 26 game. We have Portageville has a bad snap on a punt, giving Charleston excellent field position, but luckily we were able to force a turnover on downs going into half. And that's when the fog showed up. The fog. Within the fog, when we come back at the beginning of the second half, Charleston scores a touchdown that we barely could see to make it a 20-14 game. We had another kickoff return for a touchdown called back. And then luckily we get Maxi Ortez, who had a fumble recovery, which helped set up a 44-yard touchdown run by Antonio Hickenbottom, making a 28-14 game. But we were still not out of the woods yet. Charleston still had a chance to make it a game, but luckily we got a problem on our hands. Cole Dodd within the fog. No one really ever saw it. His first ever varsity interception that nobody saw, but he gets it and seals the game for the Bulldogs, and we get to go on to the district championship game. I was talking to Mr. Dr. Matt Hendricks earlier today, and he said, the next time that we play at Charleston, we might finally have the big one earthquake, because we played in the hurricane last time we went to Charleston. We played in the fog this time around, the fog bowl. Next time it's going to be the earthquake. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, man, I hope not. All right, what did you think about coming out at half and seeing all the fog?
Well, we kind of, tried to say that we've tried to prep for, today we were practicing in pretty cold weather, and we practiced in the heat, we practiced in the rain, we practiced in a lot of elements this past year, or this past season, I should say, regular season. So we like to tell ourselves that we try to prep for every situation that we might see, but that one was different. It was, I remember we're talking up top, and I'm thinking, trying to get to have conversations, I think at times with you guys, and saying hey, tell them guys what can they see, because but we're trying to see what plays to call and what formations to call, what stunts to call. But if I'm being honest, we couldn't see past the center. So then when we get film, we get our end zone camera, we have our we're able to see a couple of situations that happened to us on the touchdown run. There were frustrations on my part. And I'm getting on to a kid of telling him he can't do something, and come to find out it was not his fault. So, we just knew that they were running outside, and I'm yelling at James, "That's your responsibility." Come to find out it wasn't. So that was the hard part, I would say. It's as far as coaching in it, because you couldn't make any adjustments. But they had the same situation on their end. Seeing on our side as well.
If anything, it was worse, it seemed like.
I think so. So they couldn't even, have any kind of visual aspect of being able to look and see what's going on our side. So we were both dealing with the elements. But I thought our kids did a really good job of, you calling out the play there. I thought there was a couple of times we had a real big, of course, Maxie makes his play. It seems like he's always recovering fumbles and rumbling and stumbling and anything else that Big Boomer would say. But I would say the big thing was resilience. Coach Red kind of pointed that out in film. 5 or 6 weeks, when they were making their run and our backs were against the wall, I don't know if we would have come up with the big stops that we did, which led into Deuce getting loose. But at the end, but I was really proud of our effort there and a couple of big stops that we needed to get.
So just got to paint the picture for home. If you paid for Mission TV, we're sorry.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you could not see anything.
hashtag one.
We could see to about the hatch, our sideline hatch,
Yes.
about halfway through the field. That is where it started getting murky, and then the completely other side of the sideline you could not see, whatsoever. Which earlier this week I was actually listening to Josh Pate's college football podcaster, and he's pointed out something that's very interesting. You put in a lot of this work, like in the hot dog days of summer where it is 1 billion degrees outside, and you're putting in that work to actually like show fruition when it's negative, when it's below freezing and raining outside. And so it's just a weird shift that's when you're putting in the work, but you're making the payoff in a completely different type of environment.
Right.
All right. But speaking of the 2 players that kind of were our workhorse backs, we need to think of a good nickname for him, because we got the Lightning, and I was guessing maybe the Lightning Rod because Parker's a little bit taller and whatnot. But let's bring on our players for the player interviews this week, Mr. Parker Babb and Antonio Deuce Hickenbottom. Welcome back to the Bulldog Blitz, fellas.
Sir.
You start us off with your name, your positions, and your grade.
My name is Parker Babb. I'm a junior, and I play running back, wide receiver, and everywhere on defense.
My name is Antonio Hickenbottom. I'm a senior. I play corner, safety, running back, and wide receiver.
And you're the best. You did play corner at one point.
Yeah.
So, but yes. And you just said everywhere on defense. Is there a particular spot on defense that you're just like, this is where I really like to beast?
Honestly, wherever Coach Chang tells me, but if I had to pick defensive mid.
Right.
So, what was it like to play in the fog, or coming out at half and seeing the fog? What was it like?
It was awesome, man. It was just like, this is our barker right here. Smash mouth bully ball. Right when I saw the fog, I was like, they're not going to be able to pass. We can't pass. That's what we want. We don't want them to pass. We just want to run the football. So I was like, man, I'm ready for this.
Deuce?
Just same thing. Come out, see in the fog. We can't pass. They can't pass. We can't even see their sideline. So we just running smash mouth football.
I will say we saw the accumulation of white towels there on the sideline trying to dry the ball or whatever.
And, credit, a lot of times that, and well-deserved. Obviously, these guys were running the ball the way they were. But, kind of an unsung hero for that, a kid that, in my opinion, I went home and thought about that. A lot of recognition is well-deserved for these guys running, and well-deserved for Cole making a play and Maxie and everything. But, and we had a couple situations where, but, I would say if you were asking me, like, hey, Coach, who's the guy that you like? Jeffries did a really good job in that environment to be able to get the snap to where we needed to get to. And I think it was just, we had a couple of botched ones, but it was just, obviously they did too, which led to us being able to get the fumble recovery. But that is a hard thing to do, is being able to, especially when you're seeing that look that they give, and then you have to make the perfect snap and then step place out. That's a hard job, so I was pretty proud of him, so I would say that is something that I'm pretty proud of, is the job that he did. So, which allowed these guys to do what they do best, and which is get the ball and do their thing.
And that fog moisture really is kind of like a difference from just like a straight rain type of moisture. Even like on our equipment,
When it hits you,
it
it
would
sticks.
just coated everything.
Yeah.
Where we're like, if it's raining, you can kind of like position the ball to where you can have your drier spots on it. But it just seemed like everything was just getting coated during that whole experience. Which, as former players, we know that anytime there's weird weather, that's the best time to play, because every other sport they would cancel or delay or whatnot. Football, we're going to play forward. If it's snowing, it's snowing. If it's foggy, it's foggy. We're going to keep going. And so that's usually when the weirder and more entertaining aspects of
We've
football.
only ever seen the covers come out one time. That was up there at Duchenne, and that was a wild
That was very cold.
That was a real
Very
cold time.
cold.
It
Very
stayed
cold.
20s, and yeah, it was a whole
Like I
nother.
said, we were inside the booth and it was still cold. We're the lucky few. So this next question comes specifically from Mr. Norman. How do you get hype before a game?
Before the game, mainly we get hyped from. I personally get hyped from pitch. Whenever pitch gets in there, I like running the ball, trucking people, so it's something that I enjoy. And also another thing is, people probably think it's silly like the Bulldog jumping jacks, but we get hyped from Bulldog jumping jacks, and we get in this big circle and just start talking and stuff. And I think just all of our energy combined, you really start to feel it. It's pretty good feeling.
Deuce, how do you get hyped before a game?
Same thing, just pit, our actually ready to run the ball, our energy. So as the ball's kicked, we're ready to go.
No pregame music running through your head. You don't have nothing.
We have pre-game music. Definitely, we start jamming in there. And then Cole Dodd and Jackson Harvey, before a game, they're just mad. They just go around going crazy.
Are they like hitting people's
Oh,
shoulder pads?
Yeah, they'll like we get food before like every single day, and they'll get the food, just start launching orange. We just it gets us ready, man. I'm telling you.
Can you guys edit that part, please?
And it's still a family-friendly show. Keep that in mind. But do you mind sharing us, like, what are some of the songs of the playlist that really get you hyped?
Me personally, so me and Maxie, we went to the gym on off season every single day, and in the car we had a pregame song, and it was "Walk" by Pantera, and we played that in before the game. It just does something to our mind, man. We're ready to hit anybody, and it gets us pumped up.
All right, Deuce, what is the song on the playlist that really gets you pumped up?
Probably Kickboxing Reggie.
Of course, an NBA Young Boy song. It wouldn't be Portageville High School knocking sticks. Definitely NBA Young Boy didn't
What
get.
about you, Coach? What's your pregame like? Get your mind right, going out there, getting ready. How do you?
They make fun of my playlist.
I put it in my playlist.
No, a lot of times I'll try to go home for about 20, 25 minutes, and this gonna sound crazy. You might be like, "Man, you're just trying," but honestly, most of the time I just ask good Lord to please just help me do the very best for them. That's usually what I go about doing, and then we have our we set out pregame of what we do. We stick to the schedule as much as we can, and try to make sure we do that. But I kind of try to get to myself, and just that's usually the way. That's something that Dad taught me. He just kind of gave me advice on that. He would just say, if you ever start caring too much about winning, you won't win.
Right.
And that was some of the best advice that he gave me, because these guys are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and I think that sometimes this is year 18 for me now, and year 5 or 6 for Aaron Bidewell was a guy that just cared about winning, and I think that's why it didn't always come the way I thought it should come. But now it's more of, and I know it's a cliche thing to say, but how much can, through wins and losses, I just ask the good Lord to give me the right words to say it, the way to say them, to one, make them be at ease, not get too nervous and not get too worried about outcomes, because, if we do our very best, He'll do the rest. And that's usually, I try to make myself remember that now that it's hard to do. A game like this coming up is a big one. We all know that. We're one of 4 teams left in the area. And so that's a huge thing, but if I make it bigger than what it is, these guys won't do their best. So I have to make sure that I try to get away and ask the good Lord, just, hey, you make me as hype as you want me to be, or you make me as calm as you want me to be. And I think, because if I try to do it myself, it won't be good.
All right. Parker, Antonio, both of you are running backs. Is there any particular area in your running back game that you feel like you've improved from the beginning of the season to this point?
Yes, sir. I feel like at the start of the year, whenever I was playing running back, I was kind of tiptoeing in the backfield to let hosts develop. But now I just feel like I could really do have the smash mouth mentality. I just run full speed in there, and I trust every single one of my linemen, and I trust Brody to give me a block, and I just run full speed in there. And I have the mindset now, I just want 3 yards and gust to win.
I was saying that is one thing I will note of you is like whenever you turn up field, you hit your accelerator, you are pounding it, and it's very impressive. On all 3 of your touchdowns this week, that was like the big thing I noticed is that you hit that booster, and I was like, oh, he's gone. He is gone. Deuce, what is something that you have developed as a back this season?
Staying in the hole, don't bounce out. So a lot of people get a hold. I see it. I just get there now.
And I'm going to disagree with both of them. I'm going to say that the thing that they've got better at is blocking. I would say that at the start of the year, I'm looking at 2 guys that were not very good blockers. And I think that as the critical part, we all knew that Brody could lead block, but what people were telling us is, hey, wherever 20's at, that's where the ball's going. Now, with their development of those guys being able to lead block for each other and it's 1-2, it's caring for each other. And I think both of these guys do that now. And I think that it's one of those things where that is the biggest jump that both, because they're talented guys, and they can go to the house and he play, either one of them can. But I think that now that they give each other a chance to go to the house, and it's about what can we do for that, and I think that every time is why they're having the success they're having to my team.
Yeah. One more question that's not on our rundown sheet that's just for Deuce. You had 2 touchdown returns called back. Like, what does that do to your mentality each time it happens?
I just get frustrated. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I'm just let it go. Just get to the next play.
Players of the week. Can't be yourself.
I have multiple players of the week, but definitely I'm going to start off with my bruising brother, Brody Warren. He is the motor to our team on defense and offense. His blocking on our run scheme is absolutely fantastic. He opens so many holes, and he doesn't get enough credit. And also our offensive line, man, them boys are just eating. Without them, obviously, none of this run game stuff would be possible. Eli Wheeler, Maxie, Terrence, Braden, and Tate. And without them, none of it would be possible. And they've really bought in, and we trust them now. Me and Deuce and Brody, we trust them on every single play to develop us a hole, and it's been working out very well for us and been a big changer for us. And another person I want to give a shout out to is Deuce. Deuce had multiple stops on defense last game. He had 10 tackles on defense, and he's kind of went to a corner to a safety. He's been really coming humming, like Coach Aaron would say, and he's been running the ball very efficient. And Max Warren also. Max is very great at getting the ball snapped, giving a great handoff, and his ball placement from the start of the year to now, I mean, he's a dangerous quarterback in the Southeast Missouri part, and he's looking great on that. And Jack Bell also, another person. The deep threat right there. He's looking great.
So the whole team. You want to get the whole team.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Deuce, who you giving your player of the week to?
That's all. From me.
Thank you,
It is interesting that you don't see fullback as as vital part of football nowadays. Right. But here at the high school level, it is still one that pops up. And I think a secret to a team that does play smash mouth football is that motor of that team needs to be that fullback. And I believe that Mr. Babb kind of pointed that out with Brody Warren. So shout outs. You've already shouted out your entire team. Is there anybody else out there in TV/radio land, the internet, that you want to give a shout out to?
Jackson Harper, Indy Cole Frog, and one. Katie Talley.
Katie Talley. All right.
Give me Coach Penny.
Oh, I love this guy.
All right, so we've got Hayti again. Earlier this year, we saw them in week 2 where we went down to Hayti and they beat us 42-20. Right after our game, Hayti went on a 5 game losing streak to only win the last 3 that they've gone against. Last week they played Saxony Lutheran, which was a showdown.
They blew them out.
I say it was a showdown, but it was Hayti really just went up there and showed out. And kind of looking forward to playing Saxony just because there was a new team in the area for us, and just having that opportunity.
And last week's victory actually moved them up to 500 for the first time all season. So
they're 5-5 on the season.
So, but this is the district championship game. Coach Aaron, you have been in this situation before, coaching in a district championship game, both directly and indirectly. How have those big games in your past helped you approach this specific game?
I would say early in my career, I would say I made it bigger than what it was, and I did a bad job of the very first year. I remember doing a terrible job of making our kids nervous because I overdid it. I just overdid it, and then I went back to my dad and said, "All right, teach me." And I would say, through other coaches, football coaches, and I would say that was a big thing for me is you have to enjoy the game, and if you don't enjoy it, then you don't even give your kids a chance to succeed. This is, once again, we're one of 4 teams left. And so you guys were back there a while ago. We're prepping, and kids are focused. It was a great day, practice day, very focused, great day. And I think we're going to have another one tomorrow. Like, these guys know what's at stake. But I would say that was the thing that I would say is the most important thing to do is make sure that these guys enjoy it. And I could tell Friday that we had a good chance because they were just enjoying being there. They enjoyed being around each other. And if we had this before the game. No, before the game. And so that kind of led me to think, okay, we're good, as far as, and I actually think our mentality right now is that way. I think they're coming in and they're still being themselves. They're still being loud in the locker room, and nobody's scared. Nobody's nervous. I mean, they know the work that they put in, and they know the game plan and the work that the coaches are trying to put together for them, and so they're bought in and they're ready. These guys are ready. And so that if we weren't ready, I would be nervous. I would be, all right, man, we got to do 1,000 different things. And I don't think it's that way with this group. I think this group is you give them a game plan, you work your tail off, and you give them a game plan, and they're going to go execute for you.
So a whole season basically separates us since the last time we played Hayti. How has our team evolved since week 2?
Oh, man. I mean,
I can remember that episode, the week 3 episode. He was like, "Hey, we went back to the drawing board. We've got to figure something out."
Credit the assistant coaches, credit guys that have been mentors to me this past year, and credit most to our players. Those guys, all of us, drop our egos and say, "Hey, let's fix this," and they'll buy it in, because it doesn't always happen in a lot of schools that you can start off a season like we did, because a lot of times kids will quit. If I'm just being honest, we live in a society right now where it's just easy to quit, and I think that's the thing that makes me the most emotional, is that they did, that they cared enough about each other to say, "Hey, I'm fixing to take hard coaching. It doesn't matter how much offense coach yells at me, defensive coach yells at me, offensive line, special teams. I'm fixing to take whatever they throw at us, and we're going to get better." And our kids deserve so much credit for that. They are a living testimony right now. Is if you can overcome a little adversity, something great might come for you in your life, and they're getting to witness that. And that's what makes me the most proud, I would say, as a coach, is later in life, you guys know life's not easy. Crap happens, and I hope that they take what this season has taught them and beyond, because we're not done. I hope that they take that later in life, and when times get tough in life, that they can remember this. Hey, right, remember when we were 0-2, and now we're gonna go through that. I'm gonna go pay this bill. I'm gonna go take care of my kid. And so that's the most thing that I hope that these guys get out of this season is fight through that adversity, and great things can happen for you.
You don't want to necessarily tip your hat too much. I understand that going into this game, but can you just give us a hint at how Hayti has evolved since week 2?
I would say, obviously, they're healthy. That was the one thing that they lost a couple key players there for a little bit. They are a absolute 3-headed monster. And we know that. We know that they that that how they want to try to attack. You know, I've been with those guys for 3 years, know how they think, know how they game plan. They know how I think, know how I game plan. So I would say that that they're not going to change very much about what they do. You know, a defensive coordinator was my assistant for years. He's a type of guy that's, you know, especially after he has success doing something, he's going to try to do it again. And offensively, you know, Coach Robinson has been there for a while now, so he believes in what he's done. He's had success doing that. But, you know, we mentioned their three-headed monsters. We got some monsters ourselves that we're excited to throw on the field too. So it's going to be two good teams going at each other. Two teams that are not only well prepared, but are both hungry. And so it just depends on who wants to eat more.
All right. And so tonight, make sure you tune in to 103.9 FM, 1050 AM, Sports Radio KMIS.com, the Sports Radio KMIS app, and all those audio ways of listening to us, because it is still district championship, so we cannot show you the video unless you pay Mission TV for that.
And that's a whole other link in itself, but it's free if you listen to us.
Yes, if you listen to us on the old
We'll paint the
traditional
picture
ways.
for you, Bob Ross style.
Yes, and we did it last week for Mission TV. We did it last week for Mission TV.
We had to do it for through the folks.
But until 6:50 tonight, I've been Paul Davidson.
I'm Heath Conaway.
Here's my book.
Tony Hickenbottom.
And you've been listening to the Bulldog Blitz here on Sports Radio KMIS.